Hey everyone, welcome back. Psychopath1c here. Got a review for you guys. Curse of Chucky. Sorry, uh, that's the ultraviolet. Maybe I'll give it away or something. Curse of Chucky. This is the unrated edition. Also comes with the R-rated. Don't really see the difference. Um, then again, I've only watched the movie twice. Not to say it's a bad movie or anything, but it's not one of my favorites. It goes back to the style of the first two films being a straight up horror film with a little bit of comedy. And the comedy that's there isn't all that funny. um, Chucky pretty much gets sent in a package to a house pretty much out in the middle of nowhere, and the person who answers the door is a character by the name of Mika, as you can see right there. Um, she's holding the good guy doll right there. Um, and she's actually played by Fiona Dorff, Brad Dourif's daughter. Um, she's in a wheelchair. She's paraplegic. Hopefully, I pronounced that right. Um, and her mom happens to be kind of weird. She doesn't really want Mika to have friends, just family, and for some reason she doesn't want to get hurt. Want Mika to get hurt, which is explained later in the film. Which I will say there are gonna be spoilers, folks. Um, and what happens is Mika ends up opening up the box and ends up finding the good guy doll. Right there, that's the new look of Chucky. I don't really like the new look. They gave him long hair and they put in CGI elements, and I'm like, why put in CGI for the face? You don't need that. But anyways, Mika's mom ends up dying. We see the death offs. We don't see the death. We just see the aftermath. Um, Chucky pretty much made it look like a suicide, and the cops end up coming and saying, "Oh, this woman was depressed. She committed suicide," and they don't investigate any further than that. Um, and Chucky's just sitting there on the chair, the recliner, and just looking and smiling at the screen, and then the credits start rolling like Curse of Chucky. And anyways, the further the movie goes along, it gets to be in the okay range. Um, Chucky, the kills aren't really all that great. Two kills stood out to me, and probably the two goriest kills out of the whole film. Not the whole franchise, but the whole film. Um, and I don't think they used CGI for one gore scene, but the other, I think you could tell it was CGI. Um, and Chucky doesn't really make an evil appearance until halfway through the film. We're introduced to Mika's family, her sister, who's a total bitch, um, her sister's husband, her sister's daughter, niece, um, and the nanny, uh, the sister's nanny. So you know they're a pretty rich family. Um, in the house, you can tell it was meant for a horror film because not a whole lot of people have houses like this. Um, and for some reason, they add like this subplot about Mika's sister is a closeted lesbian, and I'm like, really? We don't need that in the Chucky film. Um, and anyways, she ends up having an affair with the nanny, and uh, the husband ends up putting a nanny cam inside Chucky's overalls, and later on in the film, he ends up seeing. He thinks that it's the daughter walking around, but how can you tell? How can you not tell it's not your daughter? But anyways, um, he gets killed in a pretty brutal way. He gets the axe to the mouth, and blood starts squirting out, and the tongue starts waggling. But you can tell it's CGI. Um, I'm just gonna fast forward to the deaths. The first death, not counting the mother, is like Mika's mother. Ends up being the nanny, uh, named Jill. No, scratch that. The first death being the priest. They're having chili. Chucky ends up putting rat poison in one of the bowls of chili, and uh, you're trying to figure out who it is that gets the rat poison chili, and it turns out to be the priest. He ends up puking and gets his head cut off. Um, that looked practical. I will give it that. Um, and blood starts pumping out of the neck like over the top. Something you'd see in like a over the top gore fest. And this movie isn't really all that much of a gore fest. There is gore in it though. Um, and anyways, then Jill is talking to uh, Mika's sister, and they're having a webcam chat, and all of a sudden, there's a bucket there to hold up the leak from leaking onto the floor from the roof, and Chucky ends up coming in, and he looks like a drag queen in this scene. You can tell it's CGI on his face, and he ends up kicking the bucket literally, and ends up electrocuting the nanny. And Danielle Busiti, that's the woman, the actress's name who plays Miko's sister. She ends up thinking it's the daughter walking around, and I'm like, how can you not tell it's not the daughter? The daughter doesn't have red hair; she has blonde hair, and uh, Chucky ends up pretty much killing them off one by one, and you end up finding out later on in the film that Chucky had an affair with Mika's mom, and we find out why Mika's paraplegic because Chucky ended up stabbing the stomach of Mika's mom, and that's how we find out. And we're not sure if Chucky is actually her father or not. But then he starts talking about Andy Barkley, Jennifer Tilly. He talks a little bit about Tiffany. Um, and he ends up pulling off bits of his face, and we find out it's actually the scarred up Chucky underneath. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, and he ends up killing Mika's sister by shoving a knife through her eye, and he delivers a punchline saying, uh, "You have your mother's eyes. They were too fucking close together." And I thought that was a pretty cool one-liner. Nothing spectacular, but I thought it was a pretty good one-liner. Um, the movie, I can say it's okay. I can watch it as a time waster. Um, the ending, it's got three endings all in one movie. The first ending being Mika gets sent to court because the police think she's the one who killed her family and the nanny. The second ending is Jennifer Tilly ends up appearing as Tiffany and ends up sending Chucky away to another part of the area, and it turns out he gets sent to the grandma. He goes to the grandma, and then he does the chant on the girl, and you think he gets transported into the girl, but it's proven in the fourth ending at the end of the credits. So there's four endings. Um, uh, the grandma comes up and delivers a jump scare with a bag over her head, and then the movie ends. And then if you watch after the credits, you end up getting a 6 months later type of time card, and you end up seeing Alex Vincent, the kid from the first film, Andy, all grown up, and I thought that was pretty cool. And he takes a shotgun to Chucky, and you hear a gunshot, but you don't see if Chucky's head gets blown off, but it's implied. But what do I give Curse of Chucky? It's a toughie. There are parts I liked, which happens to be the gore and the fact that they went for back to the roots of the first two films being scary. Um, I disliked the whole subplot thing of the whole closeted lesbian sister. But what do I give it? I give it a 6 out of 10. It's just above average for me. Two 2 points above average. In my opinion, average would be a 4 out of 10. But anyways, I can watch it as a time waster, so 6 out of 10. Hopefully you will all enjoyed my review of Curse of Chucky. Sorry it was short, but some people like short reviews, and I normally do a pretty lengthy review, as you can see from my See No Evil 2 and uh, See No Evil 2 review and my in-depth rant on Wrong Turn 6. But anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed my review over Curse of Chucky. This is Psychopath1c signing off. Peace out. Peace.